All right, hello. My name's Jason. I use he, him pronouns. We are here to play Zombie World by Magpie Games. This is our fourth of four sessions. Um, we are playing this as part of the Gauntlet Online gaming community. A bunch of gamers like to play online together. Check out gauntlet-rpg.com for forums and the Gauntlet channel on YouTube to see, want to check out any of our hundreds of videos of dozens of different types of games. See if you like our culture. Check us out. Um, so let us go around the table and introduce yourself with your pronouns. Just a brief introduction of your character with their pronouns. And what I'm curious about, if you have any thoughts, let me back up. So last time we kind of completed our little story arc with you guys successfully ending the menace of Jasper Bryn. So we here in this last session, it's kind of an open, at least in my mind, I'm just going to kind of take your guys' lead, see where the cards go. But I'm curious if there's any sort of character arc you'd like to see sort of completed or worked on in this last session. So if there's anything you'd like to see for your character today, throw that at me, and we'll see what we can do. So let's go around the table. Like I said, introduce yourself and your characters, a little brief introduction, and any ideas about what you'd like to see happen for your character today. Let's start with Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I've been playing with the Gauntlet since the middle of last year and having a lovely time. My character is Sarah Morgan, who was a staff lieutenant at the local military base and holed up there for a little while before the place became overwhelmed. She was forced to flee with a few of the people under her command here to the prison. She is also the estranged wife of Tyler Morgan, who is Will's character, and evidently the stress of fighting off the zombie apocalypse has changed her quite a bit from the person that he used to know. We haven't really heard the story of what happened there, and that would be a cool thing to come out.
All right, we'll see what we can do with that. Let's move around our virtual table. That next up would be Will.
Hi, yeah, I'm playing Tyler Morgan, pronouns he, him. Tyler Morgan appeared to be a white-collar worker who'd been stranded at the prison, but was in fact an FBI agent who was undercover investigating the mad cultist technocrat Jasper Brint, who met a sticky end last session. And yeah, he is the estranged partner of Sarah Morgan, and I think mostly in over his head because he expected to be here as part of a big organization, right? And instead he's, as far as he knows, the last federal agent alive in the world, which isn't much of a federal agent really when you think about it. You need the federal part for that part to work, really. But yeah, I think plot-wise, I don't know. I guess like the leadership, like I feel like like the plot for Tyler is kind of whatever, however the thing with Sarah and the leadership of the prison plays out, because I think drive-wise, Tyler would like for this to be a safe place for other people to come to as well, which I think is a source of tension currently in the prison. But yeah.
Okay. And I think you mentioned at the end of last time that you were interested in maybe seeing played out some of the scarcities.
Yeah, that kind of like the prison as an ongoing enclave and how we end up kind of thing,
right.
With scarcities and population and blah, 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 kind of like what would season 3 look like at the end of this kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
It's also about the time for the zombies to, to manifest as the big threat.
Okay.
Since we've been dealing with internal stuff for a while.
Sure. All right, and Chase.
Hello, I'm Chase. Any pronouns? I play Emilio. Kind of mysterious person right now. Don't really know much about his past or anything, just that he's has a pretty self-strict moral grounds in regards to like rules and humanity and things. I guess what I like to see is just more chances to unveil like his past or what he used to be, and just more of the social tensions, because it's been kind of like an action flick almost.
Yeah.
And then just like more zombies in general, just like the just bringing them more to the forefront kind of thing.
Okay.
Just to add on that, though, I'd like to say that in terms of zombies, I feel in zombie stuff is the fact that they don't necessarily come to you; you go to them. You know, like they're everywhere, and like when you need supplies, you go into the zombie thing. When you don't, you're behind your fence and you can ignore them almost.
Yeah,
You know,
like that social kind of anxiety about them.
Right. Okay. All right. That's all good stuff. Let me also briefly remind everybody our safety tools. So we're using the X card. If anything's too much, throw that X up on the screen. But we also have a little card in our Roll20 that has our lines of bail. So we have transphobia, fat phobia, sexual assault, gendered violence, racism as all our lines. Those are things we don't want to see at all. And veils on sex. So that we will fade out if people want to get busy. Other than that, I think we're ready to play. So like I mentioned, we ended last time with you guys out in the forest. You had reached this ghost town of you don't know the name of it, but we know that it's called Saint John ghost town. Let me get to our map, our area map. So you guys are out in here. Oops. You guys were out in this direction by that ghost town. And there was a dramatic scene in which you had overcome Jasper Bryn. I believe Malcolm had basically pushed him off of this tower. And then there was this cyclone of fire and smoke that had surrounded this tower, and Emilio and Malcolm had to make a rapid descent from this tower to escape as it collapsed. And Tyler had jumped in to pull Emilio to safety. And I think I had said at the time that Malcolm got a broken foot from a falling block, but we decided that
yeah. Can I make it
Tyler.
not like a broken thing though? You know, cinematically injured as opposed to broken, because broken is a big thing. You know.
Sure,
Walking
we'll
with a
say you
limp
have
and
a
painful and stuff, you know.
yeah. So if at some point in our play you get some medical care, we'll say it dramatically. It goes away more or less, right? Okay, that makes sense. And there was this moment where, so after that happened, the skies cleared, and we see a fairly pleasant evening sky in the woods of Colorado. The sun is setting in the distance, and you guys are left there in this forest. And I imagine you begin the trek home. And maybe we'll pick up where we ended. Tyler and Sarah both had different interpretations of what maybe had happened. And I'm curious where that might go. I see a little bit of conversation with the two of you. One thing, too, before I forget, I think having accomplished what you've accomplished, I think everybody can go ahead and reduce your stress by 1. Several of you are right on the precipice of going to 5, so that's probably good news to you.
Can you put us back to the
yeah.
And not to I'm interested in the whole what, but I was wondering if perhaps this would be a thing that we haven't really done yet. Before we leave this ghost town, forage for supplies, right? Because we do have scarcities on food and medicine, and the cultists will hold up here, right? And
sure,
I'm imagining that
injured, so we might want to see if there's.
Yeah, I'm kind of imagining in that sort of like rush out and the collapse and everything, and then it was like hold up in one of the buildings waiting for sunrise to see if the cultists come back or anything, right? And Sarah just like, they won't come back. Have faith.
Yeah, that sounds real good. So the forage for supplies move, I believe you just draw 3 cards. The survivor deck is shuffled and ready to go. Every hit you get, you basically earn points, and the more points you earn,
Now,
the better
with
the
that in
stuff.
mind, I am injured. Emilio, we should look for supplies.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. You did. That's the least I can do after you helped me. So
Thanks, man.
I'll take care of it. You just relax.
Be careful.
I will.
All right, so Emilio, when you're ready, go ahead and draw 3 cards from the survivor deck.
You have bullets for that gun?
That triumph. Hell yeah.
All right, that's worth 2 points.
Please give me another one. Okay.
All right. So
So
you're at 2 right now. You can find something useful but small or limited. Or you can push your luck, draw a bite card, and then get 3 more cards.
yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right, go ahead and draw a bite card.
Yeah.
I think we're at
Something breaks.
something breaks. Okay. Let's see. All right, and then you can draw 3 more cards
Well,
from the survivor deck.
there's another
Edge.
point.
Yeah.
Please, mouse. Thank you. Okay,
All
so I
right.
have 3 points total.
Useful but difficult or bulky. What do you? I'll tell you what. You find what you're pulling from is you find a. It doesn't look like it's been used in the. Well. Let me put. You find a bunch of tent like back behind one of like maybe in that warehouse that's like partially collapsed that I think you guys created. There's some tents set up in there and clearly some fires and some gear that has been strewn about. So you're working, that's kind of where you're pulling from. So what do you think that might be, Chase? Useful but difficult or bulky?
I think I want to. I was thinking of like looking for like a spot where the cultist was like chilling at. Like they had to have supplies that they
Yeah.
were maybe they
Yeah.
were using their warehouse as a like
Right.
a home base. So
Yeah.
since they worked with like assimilating people all the time, I'm looking for like those supplies that they used, like bandages because they hung them up or anything like that, scalpels, things like that. See if there's
So like
anything that,
medical supplies?
yeah.
Okay.
A big footlocker full of medical supplies, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, but that wouldn't be bulky if you could break it apart, right?
well, I think I could spend a point separately too. Like, it doesn't have to be a 3-pointer. It can be like a 2-pointer.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
And then a
So
1-pointer, maybe like a scalpel as like a small weapon or something.
sure. So we'll say there's like a surgical kit of some sort, some surgical tools, and then a satchel full of bandages and maybe some basic pharmaceuticals. How's that sound?
I can think of a 3-pointer if you want to.
I don't think we need. I'm looking for a 3-pointer. I think I'm looking more for, hey, we have a limited supply of medicals at the base, and they used a bunch of medical stuff, so I want to take it.
Right.
Okay, cool.
But we did. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Will.
I was just going to say, when Emilio comes back and tips that stuff out, and I'm like, oh, thanks, and I start to bind my like this big gash across my leg up.
Right. We did get something else though. We got the threat something breaks.
Yep.
So I think what happens is that on your way back, you see Emilio coming back. He's got a big smile on his face, but there's a big crack, and the boards underneath him collapse. Emilio, I'm going to have you make a avert disaster or fall down into the cellar of this ancient warehouse. So what's that, survival?
Yes. Which my survival is 2. Go ahead and draw.
Look out.
Yeah. Yep, go ahead. All right. You want to take that?
Yeah, I'll take the stress for the triumph.
Okay. But luckily, you're able to jump to the side, and you do not fall down into this dark cellar.
Me and Sarah, I'm looking worriedly out the window of this place. Then I'm sure she's fine. I'm sure he's fine. Boom! Half the warehouse collapses.
Peer down into the hole, and it's like that wouldn't have been a good fall.
No, but at least nobody else can use it. I say as I like dust myself off.
Right.
Surprisingly cool and collected about it.
Okay, so you come back and he's got a little, fairly substantial bit of medical equipment here. Will, do you think Tyler wants to like use some of those bandages, maybe like a compression bandage or something to help with his ankle or his foot or whatever?
I think whatever I've done, I think
crutch.
it's like a makeshift crutch, and we were going back, and like full care would wait for us to actually be in our enclave or whatever, But I've got the ingredients to do it now.
Oh, I think we found it. I think we found a crutch.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
found medical supplies. It's just we actually found a real crutch.
Okay.
So
an old-timey miner's crutch. I like that. Cool. Yeah, hobble back to the enclave, I hope.
Yeah, so let's cut to you guys walking through the forest as it starts to get dark. I'm going to tell you, you're going to get back safely. I'm not going to have you make any rolls for zombies or anything. But do you want to have any conversation on the way there?
I would like to think that Emilio's helping Tyler walk anyway, like over big rocks or any holes or anything like that.
Mhm.
But just kind of thinking about, like, looks more focused and thinking about how they're going to calm the enclave down from like the other people and just kind of like thinking almost like focused.
Right.
Tyler's gonna be, like on the way back, be saying, we got him, right? We got that son of a bitch. I guess, like, we're supposed to bring him in alive, but maybe they'll just get bored and go away, and we can finally make this place.
yeah, bring him in
safe.
alive. Bring him in alive to whom?
It can't be like this forever.
Yeah.
No, but it's better this way. And besides, it has an aspect of cleansing about it. He burned.
Yeah, Sarah, he burned. But I don't care either way, as long as the son of a bitch is not those poor people that we found in the forest.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to see him again.
I don't think anybody would. Besides the cultists who all seem to be out of their goddamn mind.
You see what they did to those people? Of course they're out of their goddamn minds. Hanging them up, bleeding them dry on crosses. Kind of that woman, that person that we could have saved.
I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance. I'm sorry that they all ran. Some of them were savable, maybe.
I don't know. Anyone to do something like that?
Savable or not, they have things that they have to answer to.
We all have something to answer to.
Yeah, but there's a different level of answering here. We didn't bleed people dry.
Speaking of which, I think as we're walking down, wait. And I start walking off in the direction of where we passed that first refugee who was up on the cross and exsanguinated.
Right.
Yeah, we need to cut these people down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out my knife and I'm gonna cut down every one of these people, and we didn't bring a shovel, but at least we can pile some stones or something.
Now, I will say that's good, but that would, despite what I said about getting back safely, if you delay doing that, which is nice, but maybe there will be some danger then.
Yes.
Okay.
I think this would be a great opportunity for us opening up, but I'm not sure who would. I feel like Sarah's one of them, but would Emilio like it or Tyler? You know, like I think either PC could do it between.
As Sarah,
I think
as Sarah
that.
cuts them down, she says a prayer over every one of them.
Mhm.
She said, Lord, give them peace, in the next world, if not in this one.
Sarah, is it obvious to the others that you let me back up? So you were touched by God. You felt, you were channeling uh, God's beauty, in confronting Bryn and driving away. And you also know that those people, quote unquote cultists, they weren't really people. They were
Right.
something else. Um,
Yeah.
do we see anything different that's shows this change or this touch
Absolutely.
by God?
Absolutely. Sarah's got I don't know, she has an ineffable aura about her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's, her language is different. The way she moves is different. The quality of her voice is softer, and when she speaks the religious words, they are with real reverence.
Mm-hmm.
The She seems more aware of the world,
Mm-hmm.
and 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 sad,
Sure.
which is not something that she's been before
Right.
during this episode.
Yeah, and it sounded like Emilio was kind of getting on your case a little bit about, you know, who's done wrong, and maybe alluding to you what had happened with you with these refugees that are now, hanging on these poles. So getting back to what we're talking about, maybe that's where we'll start with the opening up is the two of you. I would say, what you just expressed, Brandon, it sounds like maybe you're the one opening up your feelings and your past a little bit, or your feelings especially. So let's have you do the draw for us.
I would say to Emilio, I would say it is in the while we live, there is no wrong that cannot be made right. The tragedy for so many of these people is that they were destroyed before ever they had a chance.
I
Mhm.
mean, that's true. They did unfortunately die in a very tragic and inhumane way,
Yes.
but you can't absolve your actions either.
It is your prerogative, Emilio, to never forgive me for what I did.
I mean,
But I think you will find that will harm you
I think
in the long run.
Sarah, I think I'm doing okay because I'm not stranger to bad people doing bad things and wanting to be forgiven or forgiving themselves, even if they may not have the right.
Mm, That's not, perhaps I am miscommunicating. Forgiveness is for the forgiver.
Well, it's too
And if,
bad
if
they're
you if
dead.
you forgive me, it does not it is not to give me a gift, but
Oh,
rather to release within yourself.
oh, you misunderstand me as well. I'm not the one who is supposed to forgive you. The people you're laying down to rest were supposed to be the ones for that.
They
I'm
can.
just the
They're incapable.
overseer of this situation.
By absenting yourself, I fear that you are that you do yourself a disservice. It is too easy for me for anyone to say this was not of my doing. I have nothing to do with it. I cannot ameliorate this. I was merely a bystander.
I think
And
you're more than that.
Let's see how the cards play out, and we'll pick it up from there. So,
Sure.
Sarah, you are going to draw with Soul. I'm just looking at your cards to see if any of them apply here.
No, but it's a straight soul draw.
Yeah, it looks like it's straight Soul. And I'll add too, I think you guys might have been hinting at this, but I'd love to see the rest of the cards shown today if you guys get an opportunity to trigger them. Brandon's got all of his.
That's a miss.
Miss and a miss? All right. I think, Tyler, you're there. Do you want to try to assist with this somehow?
Yeah, I can think of assisting with that, actually. I think,
you know, I'll stress when you do it.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's very appropriate because, as these two are having like this philosophical argument over things, I think I'll title it and just say like, look, they're all fucking dead now, right? They're just bodies. We can have this we can keep talking forever, but they're just dead. Let's get them in the ground.
Okay. So take a stress, which you did, and go ahead and draw one more card for each card that Brandon has up. So
do I draw them?
You draw them, yep.
Okay.
So basically, you're drawing 3 cards, and then you get to choose one of your cards to replace one of his cards. That's how this works. So
that's Triumph.
Perfect.
There we go. Triumph.
So that allows
something Tyler says strikes a chord.
And what you got to do then, Sarah, is you got a pick list under open up to someone. First of all, you both lose a point of stress. So I don't know if that would, I'm not sure. I think that would include Tyler too. I think by assisting, you get yourself caught up in all of this. So everybody lose a point of stress. And because you got a triumph, Sarah, you can either look at one of Emilio's cards. You can ask Emilio a question that he must answer honestly. And because you got a triumph, Emilio does not get the same. Look at a card or ask a question.
I'm going to look at Emilio's trauma card.
Okay.
I think you already have.
Oh, have I? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
In which case, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question, which is more interesting. Have you done nothing of which you are ashamed?
Well, of course, I'm human.
But will you not share it with us?
I think, literally speaking, I think you answer the question. If you want to answer that follow-up, you can.
I could have asked it as one question.
Yeah, you probably could.
But it's just more natural to say it as 2 parts.
I'll leave it up to you, Chase.
I think that in my past, before all of this mess, there are times where I had to make decisions in people's lives that they didn't really get much of a choice of. And that the rules that I laid for myself is something that I have to be honest about. I can't forego my own principles, even at the expense of somebody else's wishes.
I understand.
So Malcolm has been, watching you guys as you're bringing these people down and you're gathering some stones to cover them up. And he's like, look, it's getting dark. There's a bottle of whiskey back in camp with my name on it.
Hell yeah.
You guys, whenever you're done doing whatever the hell you're doing here, and he kind of, gestures, he says, you kind of come along, but I'm heading back right now.
Yes. And of course, in laying these people to rest, we make sure that they don't return.
Sure, you pierce their
We
brains.
put a spike in their heads or
Right.
whatever's most expedient then.
Right. So yeah, he turns to go. Do you guys let him go, or does anybody want to try to stop him?
Malcolm, man, like we just an hour more and we're done. Okay, can't just leave these people.
He says it's not going to be in an hour. It's going to be dark, and there's a whole line of these people. You guys know that there wasn't just one person that was hanging. There was, a line of these people leading from that first one, that was the person that Sarah had broken their jaw, but there was a line of them going through the forest all the way to the ghost town. So there's probably a dozen or so. So yeah, it's so he says that. He says, you're a moron. It's not going to take an hour. There's a dozen of these people.
Come on, Malcolm. I mean, help me out here, okay? And I'd like to ask a friendly or neutral NPC for help.
Ask an NPC for help, sure.
Yeah, because I don't feel like this is appropriate to get in his face.
I'll help too. I think Emilio says if you need it, I will help. Just let me know.
Yeah. Well, Sarah's idea of helping Malcolm is to wrap him in the stomach with his baseball bat, so she's not going to do it.
Right. All right. So we'll find out if Emilio needs to help based on what Will gets here. So Will, you're drawing, what is it, Soul?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking at your card, see if any apply here.
If I'd got in his face, maybe, but it would be a group of people anyways. As an an edge, I suppose. Edge is fine.
Okay. So on an edge, the GM will tell you what they want. Do it, and they'll return the favor.
And I think the motive I was giving him was that, the four of us, like, we can make it back to the prison no matter what. You shouldn't travel on your own, but we've got to do this,
Right.
Like self-interest kind of thing.
So he says, fine. And you and he start to pick up some stones. I mean, it's the forest in Colorado, so there are plenty of stones around. So you guys start gathering some stones to cover up, this poor person. And he says to you, look, I'll do this, but you need to stand by me because I think Leo's making a move. He wants to take over.
That little shit. Sure.
He's smart though.
Yeah. I'll deal with Leo.
Okay.
Look, I'm sure we can get it all fine without any, we got rid of the crazy guy. It's all good.
You got rid of one crazy guy. You don't know Leo like I do.
Leo's not crazy. He's just a psycho.
Well, he's a little shit. I'm gonna gut him.
I don't think that would be necessary. At the very least, we can lock him up and then decide.
Okay. So regardless, Malcolm expects you guys to stand with him if shit goes down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so some time passes and you get into the night. It's dark, and you hear more of those animal calls, or strange, rattling, hollow-sounding animal calls in the forest. Are you guys gonna try to power through the night and get back to camp, or try to find a camp, or what do you want to do? You're a good hour, maybe hour and a half march. I mean, when you're coming here, you kind of lost track of time, so you're not really sure how long it'll be, but it's somewhere in that range.
Yeah, we were running before, weren't we? So we were moving fast, whereas we're probably moving a lot slower now. My vote would be to push on overnight.
As long as you can still walk on that foot, I'm fine with that.
We're gonna
listen. If there's a bed at the end of it, I can walk as far as I need to.
All right. Well, if you need someone to carry, I'm sure Malcolm. I can help. I don't
know. We know there are zombies around the Enclave. I'd much rather deal with them during the daytime.
We know the zombies out here.
Yeah, but they don't necessarily know we're here. If we're quiet, we don't make a light.
Yeah, I did go through that gate once, but I do know that the door is open.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I won't lie and say that I won't take a break if one's offered. And I'll just like crash heavily to the floor. You know what I mean? Just sit down like immediately.
Sure.
Rest my leg.
Okay, so you guys are going to try to hole up in the forest and try to get through the night and continue in
Yeah,
the
we'll
morning?
try to pick some place that has some natural boundaries.
Sure. I think what we'll do, it might be forcing a fit, but I think the best thing maybe is assess a bad situation maybe? Yeah, I think that might be the best way of handling this. So who wants to lead the way at try to find a somewhat defensible little hole somewhere in the forest here?
I'll do that.
Okay.
Could we do it as make a plan? You know, like the plan being to camp out here overnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you might be right because this is a zombie situation. But being careful, safe, stealthy, and smart. Yeah, I think that would probably be a good idea. So let's make a plan.
It could also be barricade a place when you
Yeah,
barricade a place against zombies.
Yeah, that would fit too. I think what we'll do.
Barricade is nasty. Fail.
Yeah, I think
it's really about boarding up a house and stuff. Yeah.
Let's do. I think we'll do both. Actually, I think we'll do a make a plan. We'll say that. Then again, I was thinking of foraging, like foraging for a good spot, but let's do it as make a plan, and that will kind of set the stage of like how much danger there's going to be throughout the night, I think. And then we'll say, you guys are in the process of kind of trying to fortify this place, whatever it is. So if necessary, we'll do a barricade a place to kind of establish, what kind of state your little camp is going to be in. Let me ask you another thing. Do you make a fire or not?
No.
Okay, it's going to be very cold. Yeah, it was snowing. It's autumn in Colorado mountains, so it is going to be very cold, which isn't necessarily going to kill you, but again, it'll give me something to use if you get some bad rolls.
Yeah, every zombie in eyesight will be drawn to a fire.
Yeah, probably. All right, so no fire, and you're looking for a spot. You find a spot. Let's see how the night goes. So we're going to do a draw, making a plan. Trying to think back, who ended up being the one to kind of establish that you guys are going to go ahead and spend the night?
Sarah, I would say.
I think it was Sarah. Okay. So Sarah, you are going to draw with survival.
Okay.
Oh, before you do though, this is a zombie move. If you guys want to give Sarah another card, you can choose to draw from the bite deck. Anybody want to do that?
Sarah, is that 3 cards?
Yes.
I'll forego this bite card.
Yeah, I think we're about 6 cards or so on the bite deck now.
Yeah, I have faith in Sarah.
Okay. All right, Sarah. 3 cards. Let's see it.
Not that time.
Triumph. All right, there it is. Bam. All right, so you're in good shape.
Here it is. Yeah.
Yep. You arrive in the middle of your plan in decent shape on an edge, some part of your plan, blah, blah, blah. I think we'll just say that you get through the night, and it's a cold, miserable night. And Tyler, your leg is throbbing, but you get through it. I'm going to say, no zombies come along during the night. You're able to get through without any mishap. Okay.
I'm badly hobbling because we come back for the first hours of the day, right? Like can't move my leg at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's cut to there then. So let's cut to you arrive to the prison, and to kind of establish what you see, let's see how the NPCs did. You had left them when the 4 of you went out into the forest. You had left them to sort of clear out the prison and get things back in shape as best as possible. And which of the NPCs, let me take you to our list of our cast. Which of the NPCs do you think took the lead in doing this operation?
So we left behind Maxine. I think Robin was injured, wasn't she? Quite badly.
Robin hurt her arm. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We left Demarcus. I don't know if I think Demarcus would like step up if anything, but I almost feel as though like Leo would be the one who kind of was. Well, we have all the rest of Sarah's people as well, actually, don't we?
yeah,
know.
but
Yeah.
they're not. But they're not leaders.
Yeah, I would lean towards Leo myself. Anybody else?
Yeah.
have
No.
a-
My people are good. Are solid survivor types, but none of them are. None of them are forceful personalities.
Okay.
I think dramatically, Leo has to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
I
makes
mean,
sense.
The bastard.
Does Maxine rise to become the hidden hero, Emilio?
No, she's more like the stealthy, sneaky type. So there's
Mm.
absolutely no way she's taking on Leo's leadership. That's a no-peruni.
All right, so let's take a look at Leo then. So Leo has scavenging, stealth, and survival. Do we feel that any of those skills would apply here as something useful for what he was doing? Anybody make an argument that those would fit?
I mean, he was holding the prison effectively, wasn't he? Like clearing the zombies out that had already got in there.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I guess
Scavenging, maybe, like reinforcing stuff that had
yeah.
been.
Oh yeah, don't we have the walls that uses kind of stuff like that?
Defenses?
Yeah, and I feel like his skills would go towards that pretty well. So maybe that was like their focus, scavenging and building
Right.
up defenses.
I suppose if
let's
we're
see.
thinking about
What-
clearing
I
the
think-
inside ones out, though, he's not.
I think
got
I'll
anything.
cut the middle. I'll say that you guys had established the defenses were very strong, and this prison is designed in a way to sort of like siphon zombies in certain directions and to like limit their frontage, so to speak, so you can kind of take them on bit by bit. So we'll say the prison itself will apply as good equipment for this, so we'll give him +1 for that. But I don't think his skills are really fitting that well. So what I'm looking at is when you direct your allies to take action, draw 2 cards, and we give him an extra card for equipment. So he's drawing 3 cards. Since Matthew's not here, let's see. Will, why don't you go ahead and draw? I don't know if you've drawn a lot yet today.
Okay.
Draw 3 cards. Let's see how Leo did.
Miss.
Okay.
All right.
I
Well
was
done, Leo.
Best result possible.
I was kind of hoping that would happen.
Yeah.
All right. So I think what happens, the 4 of you in the light of the morning light come, over a rise, and you see before you the prison. And Emilio, what's the first thing you see that tells you things have gone very badly here?
I would say maybe that Leo had neglected a lot of the Enclave, just focusing on their own people.
Yeah.
And like people have just been left to their own devices, or other Enclave members have been decimated by zombies.
Right.
And there's like a mound of them over
Right.
fresh bodies.
So yeah, I'm gonna say, I think if I got you guys on the map, I'm gonna say that like you just said, the area around the tower looks to be clear, and the fencing is like secure around it, so that the access to the tower and the tower itself looks to be pretty secure. But the yard, where the fence, where you go in through the where you guys left originally, that yard is full of zombies, and there's swarms of zombies around your headquarters, cell block B. And you see them milling around trying to pound their way through the various doors to get in there. So yeah, you see that for sure. Brandon, what else do you guys see that's a bad sign, if anything?
let's see. Yeah, besides the fact that zombies are in places that they oughtn't to be, I think we have to see a familiar face among the zombies.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's go to our cast list then. Maybe you guys got some binoculars or something, and you're looking around and you spot a familiar face. Who is it that's become a zombie?
Yeah, I'm going to vote for one of mine. I
Yeah.
think because and we're going to where's
You've got the red shirts basically at this point.
Well, I mean, Robin was injured.
yeah, but Robin's
Robin's a supporting character rather than an extra. We need an extra for this scene.
Yeah.
so
yeah.
so
I guess
the
it just depends on how deep you want to go.
where okay so Matthew it's Matthew because he's 16. Yeah, so yeah, it's got to be the kid.
All right. All right. Poor Matthew. What did you know about Matthew? That breaks your heart, seeing that now he's become a zombie.
Well, Matthew was basically an intern at the base. He was the son of one of the lieutenant colonel, and he was completely gung-ho for going into the military and super enthusiastic about being there, really happy to be among this, and he did even the most kind of boring clerical jobs with this immense cheerfulness and things like that, and he had a great attitude right up until the time where everything came to pieces.
Right. Okay.
So he always is like, we can make it through this. This is, we'll find a way. This will be okay, and things like that. And so he's the one who gets it.
Okay. I am tempted to give you a stress seeing this happen to one of your people.
Sure.
So yeah, go ahead and take a stress. What is your stress at now? Is that the only one you have? Just one?
Yeah, no, I'm that being touched by God and
sure.
And all manner of other things. Yeah, they
okay.
and opening up about that whole thing eliminated all my stress.
Okay.
So
let's do that.
But you see Sarah, visibly bunch up.
Right.
When she grabs the binoculars and says, "Let me see that."
Right. And I think when another thing you see with the binoculars, is you swing around and you see that there's a sniper up at the top of the tower again. It's one of now Leo's people probably.
Mother, I say mother, and then I pause and I say,
"Ooh, is it Dan? Maybe the one who wanted to shank me."
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. The biggest, meanest one. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, that doesn't necessarily. Leo's made a giant cock up of it.
You see Malcolm pulls out his knife and he goes, "Oh, it's gonna happen now. We're going down."
Not while I'm alive. To Sarah.
Just don't get in my way. I'm gonna cut his goddamn throat.
I think if he did that, the rest of the gang would just get more violent.
Oh, they follow whoever's got the biggest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Listen, listen. It doesn't matter. We need to get back in there, and we need to
Yeah.
try and see if anybody else is alive. Right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to go into B and see if the rest of the Enclave is fine.
but the gates. There's too many of them. We're gonna have to look over at Emilio.
3.
There's always that other way
3.
in.
Uh,
Do you know? Like maybe most of the zombies in the cell blocks in the other areas must be out by now. So if we go through,
they may have
you know,
all been drawn out here, leaving
So only
one
gonna
of the
be,
ways in more open.
there's only going to
Yeah.
be one unlocked door that we know of.
I think Will's referring to you guys had that relationship card in the beginning that said that you established that you both knew about a secret way that maybe you can get in.
Mhm.
There's a few zombies wandering around, by the parking lot area. So I mean, there would be. It's possible.
No, I
But yeah,
mean, I'm not saying it would
it's a
be.
mess.
I'm not saying it would be safe.
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
You know, I'm just saying it would be
Easier to deal
easier.
with.
Because if we go through the infirmary, then we're in admin, and then we can move across to the command tower from admin rather than have to go through
Yeah.
the whole
And
other
they're
area.
not gonna expect us from coming in that direction anyway.
Right.
Well, Tyler's gonna wave at Dan up on the tower, right?
You're gonna wave on there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
I'm watching, getting ready to slam Tyler out of the way.
Right. I think Malcolm, when you start to do that, when you go to do that, he pulls you and he says, "What the hell are you doing? You don't want to let them know we're coming.
Well, they can cover us.
Are you some
Isn't
sort
that
of
your guy?
Are you some sort of FBI agent? What were you like were you like run a desk or something? Have you never been in the field? Like Leo,
Well, yeah, maybe.
he
But
just
anyways,
all those people in B block, he left them to die. You think he's gonna treat us any different?
I thought he was your friend, Malcolm.
Friend, you don't really understand the way a prison works, son.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand how the end of the world works either. But okay.
I say to Malcolm very quietly and gently, take your hands off my husband.
It's okay, Sarah. It's okay. Okay. Cool. You're right, Malcolm. You're right. All right. Like,
He kind of like bellies up to you, Sarah, and he says, "What are you gonna do about it?"
I get in between them and I'd be like, listen, we don't have to go through the front way. If they're
Sarah's not.
looking,
Sarah seems very relaxed. You know, she doesn't seem bunched up, and her voice is very quiet.
I think this is a good opportunity to go ahead and let Emilio use that Peacekeeper card. So if this works, you'll lose a stress, okay, Emilio? So it sounds like you're trying to calm an NPC down.
yeah, that would be steal.
Steal.
Where's my deck? Oh, there it is.
And we'll see how this goes and
Bam,
take a break.
Edge.
bam, shabam.
Okay.
And Edge says,
Edge. On an edge, you get to pick one from the list. So you can keep them calm for some time, which means you're going to succeed, but if you want to make it last, you can pick that one. You can get him to reveal his true concerns, or they don't hold you responsible for what comes later.
I'm just gonna keep calm for some time because
Okay.
I already know what his concerns are pretty
well,
much.
also, yeah, he's already gonna hold you responsible. So yes.
Yeah. So Malcolm is going to have a chip
about
on his shoulder.
responsibilities. So I just need to keep the bull in the pen for now.
Sure. Okay. So let's take a break. We'll come back and we will see what happens next. All right. 5 minutes, okay with everybody? Need 10? 5? Okay, I'll see you in a couple minutes. I saw on the calendar you're running a game next month, Will.
Yeah, I'm running Brindlewood Bay at the moment, and I'm running Hook Cartel like season 2 in May. Star Wars Cartel is a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
to get into Brindlewood Bay, but wasn't quick enough on the draw.
Hmm.
It's sometimes with a lot of these games, it seems like the interval, the sign up interval is about 45 seconds long.
Yeah.
Brindlewood Bay went fast, like really fast.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't have your phone, if you're not actually looking at your phone at the time that the notification comes up, you didn't make it.
I'll confess, Hook Cartel was, first 24 hours. If you played in season 1, you can sign up. Otherwise,
Right.
to get everybody from the same crew back again, and then.
Yeah.
But if they drop out, other people back in. But yeah, it's a great game. I recommend everyone play Cartel because you play scumbags.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out. Actually, I've been wanting to find a game to run again and play myself. So maybe I'll buy it and check it out because I love their games. Obviously, it's Magpie, right? Is it a Magpie game? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a move coming up, and then I'm going to run a game.
Sweet.
Once that's been done, and it'll either be Apocalypse Keys or Night Witches.
Both very good. All right, so Chase, are you there?
Yep.
Okay. So Malcolm spins away with disgust from the two of you. He says, "Fine. Okay, Fed. What's the plan?"
Well, so the furnace in the infirmary. Well, Emilio found that you can, it's not sealed up at the back, and it just opens up into the parking area. So we can easily sneak through into the infirmary room and then go through admin, and it's covered, right? And I mean, there can't be many zombies left inside those buildings, looking at how many of them are out here. So we can get right into the fences without having to go through all that. And he looks over at Emilio like, sorry for telling about this, right? But
we're on the same wavelength here.
Okay. Any dissent or alternate ideas?
There's still going to be Z's in there.
Yeah.
They're, trapped in various rooms and such like that. So we're going to have to.
But if we're quiet, we won't draw the rest of them, and we can move up.
It's a better idea than it's a good idea.
Okay. So let's jump right to the cards then. So this sounds like make a plan. Sounds like Tyler's suggesting it, and it sounds like is this a careful, safe, and stealthy plan?
Yeah, because I think we're doing it in the carefulest way you could do this, right?
Yeah. Okay. So just to set the scene then, so we know you're coming from the forest. You kind of move around quietly through the forest. Let me back up. You were going to wave to the person at the top of the tower. Did you go ahead and do that or not?
Well, no, because Malcolm grabbed my hand and we had
Okay.
that whole confrontation.
All right. So you moved around through the forest, and you're going to move kind of through this parking lot area using cover to try to stay out of view of zombies and also the tower maybe, and make your way to this rusted, long forgotten iron. I imagine sort of like an iron door with a latch or something that you were able to lift, and maybe it's partially obscured by like a dumpster or something. But you guys had you'd found it from the inside and then get into the infirmary that way. Okay, so that's the plan. This is going to be a draw with survival. Once again, this is a zombie move. Before we draw, to either of the other two want to draw a bite card to give Tyler an extra card in his draw.
Well, I have 3 in survival. I don't think that the plan is supported by plenty of resources and people, though. Would you say? So, and I don't think we're basing it on accurate current information either. There's no dissent, but is there significant opposition?
I would say no. I think the way you're choosing to go, I wouldn't call it significant. No.
Okay, so there's 3.
I'm
at 3.
No, I'm just going to stand by, waiting for trouble.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
going to, since I also know the route, I'm going to I'll go ahead and I'll take a bike cart just to cement that we
All
get
right.
in.
Ooh.
All right, let's see it.
Where's the? Oh, here we go. Give me.
Threat. More zombies. Okay.
Keep
All right.
drawing those threads.
There's not
I'm
much left other than frets and bites now.
Yeah. I wanted to see if there's a way I can tell how many cards are left. I don't think I can. I'd have to count all the ones on the table. But anyways,
Draw 4 cards then?
Yeah.
draw 4 cards, and then we'll work that threat into the result.
So it's an edge, a miss, an opportunity, and a miss. I'll take a stress to turn that opportunity into a triumph.
Sure, sure. Okay, so you arrive in the middle of your plan in good shape.
The door
I
gives
think-
an awful creak as you open
Right, right. So you move through there, and I think what I'll say is that there are, well, let me start with you. What do you think the infirmary looks like? You guys, I picture you guys moving through this furnace. There's the outer door. You move through this grungy old furnace. You've gotten covered in soot and dust, and you've screeched, opened up this inner door, and you're peeking out into the infirmary. What do we see?
I think that there are toppled over gurneys and equipment everywhere, and it's quite badly like disrepaired. But you know, we never got to clear this out, right? And I think there are a few bodies of people who were just permanently dead, but like badly like eviscerated and eaten,
Right,
slumped over some of those gurneys.
right. And
Smells awful.
right. I was
Oh
gonna say,
God,
what-
is there one person strapped down to a gurney who is moving?
Of course there is. So right.
Kick, screaming and biting and foaming at the mouth.
Right. I will also say that the you can see, maybe it's like you come in sort of like you're in like this back room. Maybe it's like a supply closet or something you're coming into. That when they refurbished the place, they sort of like didn't bother getting rid of this weird old furnace, and they just had a supply closet that was there. And so you come out and you kind of push aside this cabinet that was there that has some supplies or whatever stacked on it, and you peek out the door and you can see across there's all kinds of rooms on the side, but maybe there's like a central like administrative area, and then there's like a desk or a counter, and beyond that sort of like a little like waiting room or like entrance area, and you see the door into the infirmary. The main door, this big solid security door, is slide open, and there's zombies milling about in that front area. Okay, that's their threat. So that's your situation. What are you going to do next?
So essentially, we're kind of like looking at zombies between us and the admin area, right? Like to get through. Well, I mean, there's a few more than I thought there would be.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to take them on.
Or we can maybe get them distracted. I mean, there's a bunch of shit in there. If we make enough racket in a corner, maybe we can slip by.
If we make enough, yeah, but we'll attract everything that's behind us. Right now we're not surrounded.
So yeah, there's a swarm of zombies. So it sounds like Emilio suggesting distracting them, Sarah suggesting you fight them. Malcolm pulls his blade out and his shotgun. He says, "Oh, I'm ready to. I want to kill him, and I want to get to Leo."
I think I'm going to go with fight, just because I don't think we've really done that yet. Yeah. I think it looks at Emilio and like we can one of it, and I'm like, no, you get it cut off. It'd be suicide. We just got to push through. Come on, together. We can do this, right? But no guns, I guess, right?
I don't have any weapons, but I can do what I can.
So you guys had cleared out the armory.
Yeah.
So you all still have that +1 forward from that. So
Oh
plus
yeah,
one
I have a
angle, yeah.
shotgun, but that's gonna be just as
Also-
loud as pushing.
No, I catch up.
over.
Well, we went through the infirmary, so I catch up one of those sturdy old IV poles, and I shove it at Emilio, and I say, "Here, this has got enough reach to keep him at distance."
It's also just as flimsy. I think I'll just stick with the shotgun and just use it as a bat.
Bashing them, sure.
Mm.
Okay.
I'll take that scalpel that we found earlier. You know.
I hand it over.
Mm.
Okay. What do we see
Ma-
Sarah fighting with?
Baseball bat.
Okay.
She has a baseball bat with barbed wire wrapped around the end of it in classic fashion.
And I remember that Matthew had said that Malcolm had that armor on too. So maybe Malcolm takes point, and he's just like bullying, grabbing them and stabbing his long blade right into their heads, and they're trying to bite at him through this armor, but that's giving him tons of protection. So he's kind of like bullying his way, and then you guys are sort of, I imagine you like trying to keep a formation, as they come at the flanks and stuff. You guys are doing your thing, bashing heads and piercing them with scalpels, more precision attack. All right, that sounds real good. Let's see how it plays out. So this is Fight the Dead. I think if it sounds good to you guys, it sounds like initially Sarah was the one that was gung-ho about it. So maybe Sarah will have you do this draw. Okay. So this is going to use your savagery. Now, this is the zombie move again. Do either one of the other players want to draw a bite card to help out? We're down to, I don't know, I think there's 7 or 8 cards back in that deck.
Thank you. Not this time.
All right. The odds are getting worse and worse here.
Can I reveal a card here? Like, because I think that what I'm revealing is that I don't back Sarah because I look terrified, which would be my trauma.
Go ahead and reveal.
Fearful. Like Tyler's been trying to stay brave for this whole time, but like hand to hand with the undead, he's not happy about it.
Sure.
I forget what people does.
Fearful. Stress when you back down from a danger or conflict.
Okay. Draw +1 when I assess a bad situation before taking action. But in this case, I just wanted to get my trauma card out, basically, and I think it's, is that Tyler's too terrified to like keep up with Sarah as she's going through this sort of stuff. Like freezes at a moment or something when he should help her.
Do you want to do an assess a bad situation to
no,
if you can get anything out of this before you guys jump into the fray?
No, I think that would fit with the fearfulness in the moment,
All right, so back to the question then. Will, do you want to draw a card to help Sarah on this savagery draw? All right,
no,
Sarah.
I'm too scared.
Let's see, Fight the Dead. There's no modifier, so draw your savagery.
Okay. Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Yea, though I walk through the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. And we have an edge.
You got an edge? All right, good. Let me just see if any of your cards have any impact here.
No, I don't think so.
No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. On an edge, you choose from the pick list, but then I choose from the pick list. You attract the attention of a third party. You end up in a bad spot. Draw from the bite deck. You mark stress or suffer serious harm.
Certainly we attract the attention of a third party.
Okay.
There's no way that the people here are not going to notice that.
Sure.
That the zombies are howling and clearly something is going on.
Right. And this is our last session. We're about halfway through. I think I have to force you to choose from that bite deck.
Yep. And it's very clear, by the way, that Sarah is protecting. She doesn't care about Malcolm. She's protecting both Tyler and Emilio.
Okay.
So it's like one of them gets near, a zombie gets near her, and she just wades in and cracks it behind the head.
Right.
full force, and maybe as a result, she is not paying as much attention to the ones that are going after her. So let's see what happens. Bite deck says, come on, mouse. My mouse doesn't want to draw the card. Threat.
More zombies. All right. So I think what we see. Hold on, get rid of this.
Draw a line, sorry. There's just drama.
Yeah, if you click on it, you can get rid of it. You can delete it. But anyways, all right, threat more zombies, and we also drew the attention of a third party. You did succeed though. So you guys significantly reduced the numbers of these zombies. And I think we see a montage of this battle. And you move through, and it sounds like maybe Tyler, being fearful, is the last one through, and you slide shut this heavy door behind you. You know, and the zombies are pounding at it, and maybe you chop off a hand that's reaching it through to get you guys, and you move into the outside, and you see Emilio. You turn and you see that red dot of that laser scope of the sniper rifle is highlighting Malcolm's head. The person in the tower has spotted you. In addition, there are quite a few zombies between you and cell block B. There's obviously a ton of zombies around cell block B already, but on the way there are quite a few zombies in this fencing system between you and there.
Meaning so that they opened some of the gates.
Yeah, they
Those
never
bastards.
shut them or whatever. Yeah. So Emilio, what do? Malcolm has this laser beam on his head.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull him like forward to me against the wall and try and avert that disaster.
Sounds right.
Uh-oh. Don't draw badly.
All right. Recall.
Did that say something about planar transport?
Survival. My survival is 2.
All right.
Triumph.
Ooh, nice.
All right. Perfect. So you pull him down, and there's a large gunshot, and the concrete behind him, is kicked up by this high caliber sniper bullet. And I imagine everybody jumps to cover. So the camera picks up the 4 of you, back behind a concrete wall or something.
Jeez, that was close, Malcolm.
Fuck, we're pinned down, and we've still got a lot of Zed between us and safety.
Malcolm says, yeah, there's a lot of zombies between here and there, but we could get to the tower. There's not much that way. He wipes his bloody blade off on his pants, and he says, yeah, we can get to Leo that way. I bet quite a bit of cover that way.
We can get that guy with the sniper rifle out. Jesus.
They're at the tower, so we could head up there and calm them down.
Tyler, I need you to step up here.
What?
And then I'm gonna get in your face.
Okay.
What over?
Lean into a little bit more. Just show me a little bit more of how you're getting in his face.
Tyler, this is I know you're afraid, but if you don't step up here, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life, assuming any of us make it through this.
So I think this would be is in the lines of you're saying that I need to lead the way through the next bit, which draw savagery, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm,
What's the implication of what you're going to do that's savage if he doesn't? Maybe that's the part I'm missing.
I'm gonna. I mean,
Hit me with a baseball bat.
oh god,
no,
the barbed wire.
No, I know.
that's not quite it. It's more like I'm going to cut you loose.
Okay.
Mhm.
I've been protecting you, whether you know it or not, during this entire thing.
Mhm.
Okay. And it's like, you know, you're on
No,
your own. You're on your. You know, you did. If you don't step up here, you're on your own.
Okay.
Some
go with
of
that.
your years of bad history, unhappy married couple is coming to the fore here.
Mhm.
Okay, so that sounds good then. So let's do it. Get in someone's face, draw savagery.
It just seemed like
So
a
before
good time to
when
make this difficult.
when Sarah says that, I think Emilio's going to interfere.
Okay.
He's going to step in between them, kind of, and just be like, "This is not the time to hash out whatever history you two have. Not one person needs to step up in a community. So I need you two to get your act together, and we need
Ooh.
to figure out what to do next."
Okay. Um. Hmm.
So that, I guess it's Sarah draws her cards to get in my face, and then Emilio draws the interfere cards equal
Yep.
to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I
That sounds
switch
right.
any good cards
That's
out
right.
with my bad cards.
Okay. So Sarah, you start us out by drawing your savagery.
Clean miss.
Oh, just straight up miss.
Mhm.
All right. So we don't even need to bother to interfere. So it still happens. We still see Emilio trying to step between them, but a miss. So
I think we'll go with with that what happened. Like Emilio did interfere, like diffuse the situation, right? Like
right.
and I just look at Sarah like, what happened to you?
What happened to you? Do you really want to know? Because I'll tell you.
But I think that's very definitely like a later moment, given the interrupt. You know what I mean?
Actually, I would like to hear what you have there, Brandon. I do have what's going to happen with a miss. I have that on on hold. But go ahead. Let's. What do you say there?
16 people. That's how many survived the initial onslaught at the military base. Okay. And we were holed up there. We had enough supplies, and we were keeping them off. And then things started to go wrong. And I watched them die one at a time. These people who are under my protection, I guess. One at a time, the zombies got to them until we were down to 4. And then we didn't have enough to hold the place anymore, and there was nothing to do but run. I mean, we're down to 6. We lost a couple on the way over.
And what, you think you're responsible for this?
Yes, I'm responsible for it because I didn't make the hard decisions. Because I didn't do what was necessary to save the people who are my responsibility. Okay? We tried, there were some people who clearly weren't going to make it. We tried to save them anyway, and it doomed the fucking rest of us. And
This is a open up, right? like opening up
It
that
is,
feeling
but
so
But
far?
she's
before
just he and she is his face is contorted. She angry and tears are streaming down her face at the memory
I
of
think, okay,
this of basically because no one stepped up and made the hard decisions. We lost almost everyone.
I think in your emotional turmoil, you've lost track of where you were to some extent, and there's a crack of that sniper rifle. And Sarah, I need you to suffer serious harm.
Okay, which is survival.
Yeah. No,
No,
it
what is it?
doesn't use a stat
No,
actually.
it's
Let me.
I forget how it works. Let me look
Yeah,
at it.
you draw a card, but then there's modifiers. So let's
Okay.
see. It's under the Game Master moves. Suffer
Unintentional or
serious
accidental,
harm.
it certainly isn't. It is explicitly lethal. I have cover, body armor, or bodyguard. You decide if I have cover.
Yeah, I think you have cover. So
Okay.
we'll give you an extra card. So you're
So I get two.
drawing
I'm
two
drawing two
cards.
cards.
If they're both a miss,
Yep,
you're
I get
dead.
it. Here it comes. Yeah. So the last words is people died because no one made the hard decisions.
Can I help?
On this one,
Um,
I think it would work as a normal move. So let's see what it gets, and then I think we'll give you that option. Yeah.
That's
Miss.
and here's the next one.
Ooh.
And
All
that's
right.
this.
You can help. I would say that brings you into the result though. So if it doesn't work well,
I'm
all
on
right.
my
So you
stress.
got take a stress.
And I get to draw 3 cards, right?
That's right. I imagine you would diving at her or something or trying to grab her. All right. So you got an opportunity. That's good. Miss and edge. Okay.
I will I will
I think
spend the edge to take the trauma, right? Like that's what happens when I get a 5.
you're gonna do the yeah. So you're gonna do the opportunity. Take a
Yeah,
stress. Okay. That'll
yeah.
take it to a triumph, but it'll take you to 5.
And then I get a
So
new trauma card, right?
you get a new trauma, and like my little house rule for our shorter run of this is that I ask you sometime soon, this scene or next, to do something stupid, to do something suboptimal, dangerous, out of control. Something that Tyler wouldn't usually do because you're so stressed out.
Well, I mean, yeah, jump
So
through
think
this.
about that for a second. Let me give you that new trauma before I lose track of all this. Trauma deck. Show. I'm going to deal 1 card to Tyler. Deal. All right, so that should show up down in your hand. Check it out. You can lay it out on the table whenever it seems appropriate. Whenever you're role playing the trauma. The one thing the game is not totally clear how it handles this, but the one thing I do is if you do put it on the table, you don't get any extra benefit of having 4 cards shown. You still people will draw 3 to help you. But if it does have a benefit, that's written on the card, that would definitely apply.
Okay, cool.
So what does this all look? And because you got a triumph, you think you take the wound, the bullet's only going to graze Sarah. You'll have a bloody but not dangerous wound. So Tyler, what's this all look like then? You dive at him or her, you pull her out of the way, but you're stressed out.
I think it's like she's gesturing and telling the story right in her face, and I think Tyler like grabs her hands, and he's about to say something, and then that crack of that rifle, and he just pulls her both down, and
Right.
startled. And I think ultimately the end of all this is that like Tyler is actually going to get up and like we've got to go, we've got to and because she nearly died right in front of him, right? And they've got to get the hell out of here. So yeah.
Which way are you pulling everybody?
I think straight into the tower, right? Like that guy nearly killed Sarah, so I think Tyler's going to go kill him.
Okay.
I think I'll even fire a shot off at him.
Okay.
You know, like with a pistol, like bang, bang, bang,
Right.
make him duck, and then like
Yeah.
reload.
So I think also you hear Leo's voice. Maybe he has like a let me get back to the map and get a feel for about how far it is from where you're at. So you guys are outside the infirmary. It's not too far. So maybe he's just yelling down from above. You hear Leo's voice, and it's got like scorn in it. He's like, "Welcome back. Tell you what, you give me Malcolm, and you guys can go freely wherever you want to go." And Malcolm, he yells out some profanities, at Leo, up at the tower at Leo.
The wages of sin is death.
Can I try and get in his face?
Of Leo?
Mm-hmm. I'm not really in his face, so am I suppose. I guess I'd be yelling out. I'm just thinking I'm trying to use my federal agent ability to be like, Leo, and then reel off his criminal records and everything. And then I think I'll even say, Leo, do you think your crew's going to still stick with you when they know that you were the one who turned informant?
Ooh. Nice. Just looking at that move of yours. Let's see. When you get in someone's face, they must mark an additional stress if they escalate. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're trying to agitate him to lose his cool at least. So yeah, we'll call
for that sniper who's just shooting us to shoot him in the back.
Right,
Who knows,
Sure. Let's.
You snitch, son of a bitch! Boom.
Oh shit.
I will say, given your, how about this? Rolling in, your trauma situation.
Mm-hmm.
How about you step out into the open to do this?
Oh yeah, I'll go with that. That's fine.
Right. It's not very wise. It's not very smart, but it makes it more dramatic what you're trying to do here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it goes badly, it's going to go badly. So yeah, let's do that. So draw with savagery, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm brilliant at savagery. That is a miss and a miss.
All right. Emilio, you want to help?
Yeah, I'm gonna help. I'm going to. I guess would I need to also step out too?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to step out and say I can back up these claims, and I already know what your sentence was in prison because I was the one who sentenced you.
You have a pass card, maybe?
Flip, I was a judge.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and you're like, I know because I signed off on the plea bargain.
I was the one that was that sentenced you. So I draw 3 cards to help you because you have 3 open.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, an edge at least. Yeah, an edge.
Edge.
Yep.
Okay. When you get in someone's face on a hit, they have to choose mark, stress, escalate, or concede. On a triumph, you take +1 forward. Okay, so I think he's going to I think he's going to escalate. He's going to take 2 stress. So for an NPC, taking stress is dramatic, and taking 2 stresses, it pushes him over the edge.
Yeah.
He is going to say, he says something like, I thought I recognized you, Emilio. You're that bitch that sent me into this place in the first place. And he grabs the sniper rifle and he's going to go to shoot at you guys. And
original sniper is like, what the hell?
yeah, and the minions are like, maybe there's a couple of them standing. Daniel and maybe a couple of the other of the sons are there now, and they're sort of like looking back and forth at each other, like, what is going on here?
Well, he snatched that sniper rifle off Dan, right?
Yeah.
But that proves that Emilio was the judge. So like that proves that the story's got some truth to
Right.
it. And Dan's
Yep.
probably holding that shank in that hand, right? Like,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah, they're wavering. Leo's become even more murderous. You two are standing in the open. Sarah is like, maybe you're holding your bloody arm or something where you were grazed.
Yeah.
Sarah, let's turn to you. What do you do in this heated moment?
I cannot retaliate against Leo because he's too far.
Yeah, if you had a rifle, you'd probably be able to shoot him, but a pistol is
No, we don't. We got pistols and shotguns. I don't think we have any rifles.
Yeah, I'll say a pistol. It's going to have less effect probably if you turn to violence by shooting at him with a pistol. A shotgun's going to be ineffective from here, but a pistol, you could get lucky and do some damage.
We mostly need to go through though, right? Like get
Yeah,
out of this area.
Right. We mostly need to go through. So
I'll say that door, that heavy door that is at the ground floor that leads into the tower, is ajar because you guys had busted it down, in our first session. So it's not fully repaired. There is an opening to get into the tower if that's what you want to go for.
That's what I want to go for.
Okay. So you're going to make a run for it.
I'm going to make a run for it.
Okay. So that sounds like an avert disaster to me. We called and shuffled. You have an alternate idea, Will?
Well, might it be flee a swarm of zombies? Because I think we'd be using the gunfire like exchange as like, as he starts unloading with the sniper rifle, right? Like all those zombies that were pouring towards us stop and go like turn around, so that like we're taking advantage of that moment to just run.
I think we had kind of established that there's not a lot of zombies between you and the tower. There were between you and the block, but that was the temptation, is to go towards the tower because Malcolm's like, hey, we got a pretty much clear route. Now you have, crazy Leo, looking to get you, but not a lot of zombies at this point. I think if you get a miss here, sure, that definitely might not change real quick. But let's go with just straight up avert disaster.
Okay. We're trying to avert disaster here. Come on, cards, you owe me.
Bam.
Triumph.
All right. So you dodge to and fro. You there's a crack of that sniper rifle trying to get you, but it's not a great weapon for someone that's moving quickly from cover to cover. So he misses you, and you get to that door, and we see Sarah.
Importantly, is not shooting at anybody else while he's doing that.
That's right. That's
giving them a chance to get to cover.
Right. So yeah, let's turn to Emilio. You see Sarah make a run for it. Looks like she's going to make it. I think we'll say Malcolm does the same. We'll say Malcolm,
runs with her, yeah.
Yeah, he takes advantage of Sarah drawing the fire by, yelling out some nasty words and making his way towards the door also. But what about you, Emilio? What do you think you do?
I think once the fire is off on us and trained on her, I'm also going to head up just because I want to make sure it's not a bloodbath up top.
Sure.
Trying to have like restrictive violence just enough to where we're not, it's only left with like 2 people.
Right. And Tyler, what do you think you do?
I think I assess a bad situation.
Sure. You're looking around. Go ahead and draw. That's what, steal?
Yes, but I think my fearful card gives me an extra +1 as well.
Okay.
Draw +1 when I assess a bad situation before taking action.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So that's an opportunity. a miss, and a triumph. A
Damn.
triumph. Cool.
And as I said before, you can pick from the list. You can make up your own questions. Whatever works for you.
Yeah. Where are? Is there anybody else here that needs my help? Like, are there any allies alive?
Let's say that you peer around and you see DeMarcus waving at you from like the one of the upper floors of the cell block, your cell block. Just letting you know that I'm here.
Okay, but no one's in immediate jeopardy, kind of.
No, nobody
Okay,
else.
cool. And what is there a better way in? Like another route or something that maybe like might be more dangerous but quicker, or would allow me to draw his fire or something, but still make my way towards. You know what I mean? Like, what's my best way in, kind of thing.
This might not directly answer your question, but you get the sense that you're watching the other sons looking at Leo. You can, like I said, they're wavering. They might be able to push to attack Leo, or at least to join your side. With some successful words, you guys might be able to turn the tables on Leo here.
Okay.
And you get a +1 going forward, acting on that information.
Okay.
So let's stick with you then. What do you want to do?
I think that I am cut off from the rest as they run out towards the group. As they run in right up the thing, I hesitate too long, like looking around me to see the thing right. And maybe like a shot goes off and I duck behind cover, and now I'm kind of in no man's land. And as Malcolm probably just barges straight for that door and doesn't give a shit. Sarah's up there front, and Emilio turns around and I'm like, go, I'll be fine. So like, I mean, does that make sense? Because I took the time to assess, so I put myself slower.
I have the other three, either in or about to enter the tower, and then you, like you said, you wavered or you looked around, you paused, so you're stuck in that no man's land. Yep. Leo's trying to zero in on you. So, but back to you though. I mean, what do you do? Do you want to just stay in cover, or do you want to try to do something?
I want to. I think for the moment, Tyler will stay in cover, and we'll see how the rest of the group goes on their next step of the thing.
Okay. So Sarah, you move into the tower. It's lit up. Clearly, they have the generator on. This room, maybe there's still like a pool of dried blood from the fracas that we had in our first session. There are stairs here that kind of like wind around the outside of the tower that go up, towards the top, and then there are stairs that go down into the solitary confinement area. But it's quiet. There's no one else here. What do you do once you get inside?
Leo.
You head for Leo? Sure. So you storm
straight for Leo.
Sure. You storm on up there.
I have my shotgun. I have a look of ferocious determination in my face. And if anybody gets in my way, they should know what's about to happen.
Sure. So I think Malcolm's right with you, right behind you. Emilio, do you have an alternate plan, or do you follow those other two?
I think I don't see any of the other people there, right?
No. You guys saw several of the sons up at the top of the tower with Leo. There are 4 of them plus Leo. Let's say you saw 2 sons plus Leo up there. So there are 2 other sons that you're not sure where they're at.
Okay, I want to assess the situation and try and find them, because the last thing we need is somebody coming up behind us.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so we know Daniel's up the top. There's Yaya, Khalid, and Wei, I think is what Matthew had for their names. So yeah, let's do that. Let me recall and shuffle. So yeah, go ahead and assess. Draw with steel.
Okay. My steel is 3. Oh. Okay. Oh well.
Okay.
3 misses.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else could really help you here either. Sounds like Sarah's determined. Tyler's sort of out of the scene. So I think you're on your own here on a miss. So I think, yeah, you guys, you go up and you're following them, looking around as they storm on up. They storm past the door that led into the armory. And as you approach it, looking around, one of the sons will say, Way. Way comes out and swings a knife at you. He sort of steps behind where Sarah and Malcolm have continued up, and Way steps out into the stairwell and swings a knife at you. Um, I would like you to avert disaster. Let me recall and shuffle. Go ahead and avert disaster.
Survival. Triumph.
Bam. All right. So you successfully, dodge this attack by Way, and he's there, and
I would like to say that when I grabbed their hand and just kind of like hold them and just be like, you need to stop. You need to calm down. You're not animals. You're people. You need to have some rational fucking thought here and just stop.
he says, "Why shouldn't I kill you?"
Because I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to try to save you from the people who want to hurt you.
All right, I like it. You were trying to calm an NPC down, it sounds like. So draw with steel.
Solar steel, it's still 3.
Triumph. Bam. All right. He says okay, look, Leo said something about that you're some sort of judge.
Yeah.
What, you know something about Leo? What's his story?
I know a lot of things about Leo.
Yeah, I don't know. He told us to cut off these people, let the zombies get them.
If you think he does that to other people, to random people, imagine what he did to you guys.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Look, he's up at the top. I don't think you can talk him down, though. He's a little bit crazy. And he backs away sheepishly, and he lowers his knife.
All right, you guys need to put all your weapons down, because I'm sure any weapon that the others see, they're gonna try and attack you. So just don't look threatening, and you should be fine while we take care of Leo.
He says, okay, I'll just stay here.
Good.
He says, watch out for Yaya, though. She's, or maybe I guess it's a he. He's been drinking the Kool-Aid. I think he's all on board with Leo.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah.
I think let's take a break, and we will see the confrontation as Sarah and Malcolm reach the top of the tower when we come back. 5 minutes?
Yep.
All righty. See you in 5. Have you played the Magpie game Urban Shadows before, Will?
I played it once with David Walker. That was really
Hmm.
good. It was like 1950s LA noir. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't think I could run it though. You know, like I don't think I could bring it to life like all of those different people all over the place. You know,
Right.
have you run it?
No, it was another one I was thinking about picking up and
What,
trying.
what was this game?
Urban Shadows.
I've played Urban Shadows a few times. It's really different because it's a lot of it's about politics,
Hmm.
and so you have to have that
I played a
sort of less adventurous mindset.
I played a psychic, and I just lied to everyone about what my visions were. So because I knew the truth, but then I would lie to them to get them to do what I wanted, and it was all for their own good, you know.
That's
But
great.
yeah, it was very good. I really enjoyed it. I'd really like to check out second edition. The quick start.
I played a fake character who was essentially a very soft-spoken mob boss.
Hmm.
Okay, so before we pick up with Sarah and Malcolm reaching the top of the tower, let's check in with Tyler.
Well,
So
I
you
think
see, go ahead.
so. If they're running up for the inside, right? Like,
Mhm.
probably I can see like some of the guys on the walkway like turn towards that door, and I think you know I'm gonna uh like lean my head around and go like Daniel Morris. You know, you'll be interested to know that your friend there ratted you out too. How do you know? How do you think the guards knew to toss your cell last month?
Okay.
And I like to get in their face.
That sounds more like ask an NPC to help for
Okay,
help to me. What do you think?
sure. Well,
I mean, if you want to lean into it more aggressively, we can make it a get in someone's face. Otherwise, I would say it's an ask an NPC for help.
yeah, I'm not sure how I can escalate in that way. I guess I suppose I'm still playing the same card as I was before. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
you could get in you get in their face by like making a string of obscenities, and saying something about their mother.
oh, you know, I'm like, you know,
Trying to draw their
I thought your gang killed traitors. What? You going soft? Like, don't you kill
Okay.
snitches?
Okay, I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
There we go.
So you get that +1 for what is it? Federal agent? No, fearful.
Yeah. Federal agent
No, no,
would
no.
be.
Federal agent. Okay.
Yeah.
But you do have the +1 forward too, because you did kind of assess the situation with these guys. So you get that also.
True.
So
4.
looks like you got 4 cards. Yeah.
Can't miss, right?
You know, it occurs to me. I don't
There
think
it is.
there's a triumph. Yeah.
All
Cool.
right. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't think I've actually drawn from the bite deck once this game.
No, you dodged it every time.
I've
Yeah.
always drawn.
I put it out there, and you keep your mouth shut.
Fearful, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to triumph. Yeah.
So yeah, I think you succeed. You have a +1 forward against Daniel if they against them if they escalate or you suffer harm. Okay, so you've got sort of a point you can use against Daniel if you need it. But I think what happens is he looks at what you say. He's already wavering, and I think he pulls out maybe like a baseball bat with nails in it. You always have a zombie story needs to have some of those. So he swings at Leo, and Leo drops the sniper rifle, and the two of them start to fight with each other. Leo pulls out like say a baton, a police baton, and the two of them are starting to have a hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, can I just escalate even further and have Leo pull out that knife that he had before and just bury it straight in Dan's gut, but they carry on fighting like, you know, like battle to the death kind of style.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the two of them, Leo, makes a quick move and stabs Daniel, and Daniel's still, huge and vicious and keeps fighting with them. So those two are fighting. As Sarah, you come up to the top of the stairs, and again, this sort of control area is a big wide area with a lot of like workstations and stuff, but everything had been cleared out of the way. Probably that body is still hanging upside down of one of the guards that Jasper Bryn had killed. and Malcolm's with you, and Malcolm immediately does a beeline, moves towards the sort of like maybe there's a door that leads out onto the walkway around the outside of the tower where this fracas is happening, and you see maybe I don't know, maybe it's Emilio gives you a warning because you got that triumph and he had said you watch out for Yaya, so maybe Emilio you're like watch out, and Sarah you see Yaya, one of the sons, with a 9mm pointed right at Malcolm. What do you do? He's hiding like behind a desk or something.
God, I want them to wipe each other out. Sarah's going to let him take his shot and then blow him away.
Okay. So bang, he shoots Malcolm. Malcolm falls to the ground, and you take a shot. That is turn to violence. Let me recall and shuffle. Yaya shoots Malcolm, starts to turn towards you, and you take a shot. You have a shotgun, is that what we established?
I do.
Okay, that's going to be very effective here.
And I was waiting for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever if that does anything.
We'll add that into the result if you get a good result. Miss and miss. I think Emilio, do you want to help with this, or do you have 3 savagery?
I do.
Oh, okay, you got an opportunity.
Sorry, yes, learn savagery. I'll take the stress.
Okay,
and that's a triumph. I blow.
That is a triumph. All right, so on turn to violence with a triumph, you get to choose 3 from the list. The one you don't choose will come true.
Okay, let's see.
You're going to trade harm. So
okay,
if you
right. Is there anybody else here?
I think Emilio's maybe just a few steps behind you.
Yeah, I'm not too far away.
Yeah.
Okay, I will pick then avoid collateral damage because otherwise Emilio is going to catch
Yeah.
Yeah, and Emilio, you notice Sarah does that.
Oh, I notice everything. I'm a judge.
No, I mean, but you.
We have a judge, a priest, and a federal agent.
You notice that she shifts her point of aim. I'm going to. I have a good point of thing. I'll mark the stress.
Okay, so you take inflict terrible harm, suffer little harm, and avoid collateral damage.
Yeah.
And you will go ahead and mark a point of stress.
I'm doing that.
Okay. I think then you suffer, probably the bullet just flat out misses you, and you blow away Yaya with the shotgun. At this range, pausing to aim, as he killed or shot Malcolm, you flat out kill Yaya. The two of you, Emilio, you come up and you see this has happened. You see Malcolm is still breathing. He's been shot. Maybe the bullet either pierced the armored coat that he was wearing, or hit a spot, got around it, maybe through like the arm or something, or into his chest area. He's badly wounded, but he's not dead. And you can see through the window. There's Leo and Daniel are grappling with each other. What do you do?
I'm not medically trained, but I am good at de-escalation. So I'm gonna run over to jump over Yaya, run over to Daniel and Leo, and tear them apart as much as I can, and just yell at them like, "Do you both want to die?"
Okay.
Stop. Dog. Sorry.
That sounds like calm an NPC down.
Yeah, sure. Or that is Deal, which is 3. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. All right, that's 3 misses.
All right. I think either of you other guys could help if you wanted.
I think that what I've already done so far kind of would work more as interference. In fact, like having goaded them into this fight, right? So
I don't think I can help. She's in the middle of a melee, and I've got a shotgun.
Sure. Okay. I think what happens is that I'm going to say Daniel wins the fight. I think Leo's been messed up, by your previous actions enough, and he's slighter. This is not a good fight for him. So I think he just Daniel, as you come into the middle, Emilio, Daniel just takes that bat, whacks Leo, and he topples over the edge and dramatically falls to the ground to his death. You are caught in this swing, this massive swing by Daniel, though. You're gonna suffer serious harm.
Oh.
You recall and shuffle.
What do I draw for serious harm?
You just draw. Is it just one card? But then there's modifiers. So,
Okay.
Is it accidental or unintentional? Yes. So we'll give you a card for that. Is it explicitly lethal? Yes. This is potentially very lethal. I don't think you have any cover.
No,
No
I'm
body armor or bodyguard. So
good.
yeah. So you're drawing 2 cards.
Okay. Dun, 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 bam. Triumph.
Triumph. All right. So you dodge out of the way, or maybe you almost topple over the edge, but you pull yourself back. You're grazed, slightly wounded by this, but you save yourself. And Daniel, he says something like, "That's what you get, you bitch. You snitch. Snitches get what is it? Snitches get stitches." Or and I think that we'll end the scene there. Tyler, what do you think you do, having witnessed all of this?
Well, I think as soon as the fight breaks out on top of the thing, right? I duck and I hear that shot and the yell, and I duck out, and then I see people run out, and I see Malcolm take a bullet, and I come running up those stairs onto the gantry as all of this is taking place, and I think I rush to help Malcolm, who's like. Probably like bleeding out on the thing, and Sarah's probably stood with a shotgun like right over his body, right? Like
I am standing over his body. I am saying to Daniel, drop the bat. And I have a shotgun leveled at his kidneys. Emilio's down on the ground, out of the line.
Yeah, I think he will, because I think Daniel's bleeding pretty badly also. And you've got the drop on them. I think that's fair. So I think Daniel and the other surviving son.
Emilio, are you all right?
I could have been worse.
Okay.
Doing better than Leo.
Yeah.
And I look over there.
I motioned to Daniel to back up. So if he has any ideas of using Emilio as a shield or anything like that, it's not going to happen.
Sure.
Can I suggest Daniel just like collapses, like out of fight kind of thing?
Well, I don't know how badly he's hurt. I'm getting him.
Daniel? Yeah, I think Daniel is holding like his belly. He's got a belly wound. It's bleeding pretty badly. So he's sagging pretty quickly. And I think maybe the other son, which I'm locking up who that is. It's Yaya and Wei. We know where they are. Daniel, who's the 4th one? It's not important, but I'm going to look it up anyways. It is Khalid. So Khalid is supporting Daniel. The 2 of them, you've got the gun over them. Tyler, you come up there. You see Sarah's standing over Malcolm with the shotgun leveled. You see Yaya's been blasted. Yaya starts to rise, though. You see a zombie start to rise.
Well, shall I dispose of the newly deceased?
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Draw savagery, of which I have 2, I believe.
Right. Let me make sure I recalled and shuffled. Go ahead when you're ready.
Okay. 2 misses.
Alrighty. When you dispose of the newly deceased draw savagery on a hit, you blah 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 on an edge. Okay, so
I'm going to try to assist.
I
Would that
think
have been
you're
before the draw, though, with this one?
yeah, and this one
Oh,
a
it
zombie
doesn't.
move you have to call people. I was gonna say maybe you probably couldn't really. I think
Okay.
your attention is all focused on Daniel. Part of this whole thing is that it's behind you. So
So I
and
draw from the bite deck, or
I think what I'm gonna have you do is let's draw from the bite deck.
yeah,
I
because
think
I
Yeah.
haven't
probably
actually done that yet.
Purely, let's draw from the bite deck. This is the first time.
Yeah,
there you go.
No,
Well,
no.
safe.
safe.
I
Yeah.
can't get you guys.
Your first card.
All right, you're safe. How did you try to dispose of the
That would
dead
be
body?
horrible irony, given that I drew from the bite deck almost at the very beginning of this entire
Yeah.
scenario to keep me from getting.
To keep me from getting, yeah. No, that's a zombie movie for you, isn't it? But yeah, I think what's happened is I'm like across like Malcolm and like they're out yelling and I'm like, for God's sakes, like just you see how bad Kelly grab he's gonna die, and then Yaya like stands up and I grab the scalpel like drop to the thing and I turn around and just jab it straight through the chin as it like lunges towards me.
Now that's what you tried to do, but what you did instead is Yaya moved and you jammed it into like their sternum. Like kind of you didn't quite get to the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So you're face to face with zombie Yaya then. And it tries to bite you and fail, but go ahead.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
It might be a bit much, but that's when Malcolm just powers up and takes Yaya off the railing. I don't know if that works.
Yeah, let's see.
I also have a shotgun that I can use on you.
Yeah, let's have him. I think Malcolm's pretty badly injured, and I like the idea of the player character doing it. So yeah, Emilio, you level your shotgun then and go for it.
Okay, I have 1 savagery.
I'm trying to think. It wouldn't be fight the dead because it's a swarm. I think it's going to be an avert disaster.
Okay.
Which is survival.
Which is survival.
Which is a little bit better, yes. 2. Let me move that out of the way. Okay. 2. So 1 miss. Second one edge. Oh god.
Okay.
Screen moving.
So I'm going to give you a hard choice then.
Okay.
You can kill Yaya, but potentially injure Tyler with the shotgun, or you can miss and leave it to Tyler to save himself.
I mean, I'm gonna take a shot on the zombie just because either way he's gonna get hurt from the zombie or me. Probably, I have to take the chance to save him from getting bit.
All right, so you blow the head off of the zombie of Yaya, but some of those pellets might hit Tyler. So Tyler, we're gonna have you do suffer serious harm move. So we start with 1 card. This is going to be
accidental for sure.
It's going to be accidental, so we'll give you a card for that. Mm-hmm. Is it lethal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's a shotgun.
Yeah, I think you're right. Do you have cover?
I have a body between me and it.
Yeah, I'm tempted to give you that. So you're aiming at Yaya, but maybe some of the residual pellets. So we'll get 2 cards. So you got 3 cards. 3 cards. See what you get. Oh, let me recall. Or did you start to draw?
I just started to draw, yeah.
Okay.
An edge. Ooh.
All right. On an edge, you choose one. It is messy. You'll die without immediate aid. It's painful. Take -1 ongoing, or it's lasting. One of your stats goes down by 1 permanently.
I will say that it is it's painful. I think. I think it. Like it catches me like in the chest, right, and I just like slump right down over the top of Malcolm, and then roll up on my back like gasping.
Right. Okay. I'm tempted to say call it there and maybe just have a quick montages of what you guys want to see happen, the next day or so. Or should we do it sort of like a what happens in the weeks to come to the whole community? However, what do you guys want to do? Just the immediate aftermath, or like more long term? What happens?
Well,
We
so
won't roll any dice. We'll just kind of like talk it out.
my one of my suggestions was we never got to do the lock someone up thing, and we could do lock someone up as a way of like fictionally positioning however like the ongoing tension is like maybe we have to lock Malcolm up, right, or his former gang members or something up.
Yeah, I think
Right.
they all need to be locked up. I think it's
Yeah.
really like you all need to be locked up until we figure out what the hell to do with you, because
Okay.
y'all are wild as hell and destroying this enclave and making it harder to live in. Reform is the answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sarah doesn't like locking anybody up because she's saying you're just kicking the can down the road.
Yes.
It's just like, okay, so we're going to feed them, they're going to do nothing, and you're still going to have to decide what to do with them.
Well,
So
no.
decide now.
Listen,
I'm talking
they've got to
We got a
heal up,
reform.
judge,
right?
we got
We-
a judge, we got a prosecuting attorney.
I'm not going to have any part of that, Sarah. No, we got to make sure that, look, like they've got to at least until they can walk again, like we can't send Daniel's going to bleed out if we send him out there another month. Tyler's going to keep trying to kick that can down the road. But yeah, I mean, should we have this as a lock someone up draw to see how that tension is resolved? Like,
Yeah. Let me ask one thing though, Sarah. Did Emilio see you pause before you shot Yaya? When you had that moment where you could have maybe have saved Malcolm from getting shot.
I mean,
Did
if
Emilio?
I saw her shoot in a way to not hurt me, I'm assuming I probably saw that.
Yeah, that's probably makes
Yeah,
sense.
although there was many ways to interpret that. Maybe I was just drawing a careful bead on Yaya. I think it's ambiguous. And you can
Yeah, and I think it's up to Emilio to interpret it then. I mean, in the light of Sarah's previous behavior, what did that mean to Emilio? I guess is up to you to decide.
I mean, internally, Sarah felt that Malcolm deserved it. And so that's why she was, but she didn't, she didn't say anything.
Mhm.
And she did take care of the major threat, which was Yaya, and she was careful not to.
but what does Emilio think about it? Is the question.
That's right. What does Emilio think? Well, Emilio's always there to think the worst of Sarah. So,
Emilio's gonna go by the evidence of what he's seen in regards to, like, when somebody is in her way, and assuming that she was waiting for the opportune time to take care of two things in one go.
Yeah, I guess what I'm thinking is, does Emilio or Tyler think maybe Sarah's the one to get locked up?
No, I don't think that. Yeah, but I think very much the question. But I would suggest that if we on a miss, another member of the colony takes us through the tactics, that is immediately set up, right?
Sure.
So.
So yeah, we'll go ahead. Let's do that roll. What is it? Survival.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're taking the lead and saying, let's put these. Let's give them some. You give them some medical care. You give Malcolm and Daniel some medical care, and it sounds like you're pretty much all the ex-prisoners are getting put into cages at this point. So let's see how it works in settling them down to make them decent members of society here.
Yeah, and I think DeMarcus, vouches for Khalid, right? Like he's not so bad. He's just caught up in all this.
Okay.
I'll take the what is it? What happens on an edge? On a hit, you are safe. On a on a.
What is this? Where is this movie?
It's calm someone down.
Left.
Oh, it's calm someone down. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Combination of you draw survival instead of steal. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you got the edge or the triumph. I mean, at this point in the game, you might as well just take the triumph.
Yeah, I'll take the triumph. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And you pick 2 rather than 1.
Yeah. So I mean, I think I am held responsible for this, right? Like this is the tension in the colony, but we do have some kind of equilibrium, I guess, in that sense, and that like Malcolm and the Sons are still with us, even if like the situations they're not in charge anymore, right? They are locked up, but
Right.
it's kind of like Negan at the end of The Walking Dead, where he's in the cell and there's kind of like an amicable
Right.
relationship. Not exactly like that, because I didn't particularly like that in The Walking Dead, but you know what I'm going for.
Sure. So yeah, I think that answers the question that these guys, Malcolm and Daniel, after some time in a cell, they become, at least for a time, decent members of society. So let me get back.
Reform.
Yay. Let's just look forward then a couple months later. What does your society look like? What's the fate of the society? Let's start with you, Chase. What do you picture a couple weeks, couple months forward for the society? What happens?
I think the main thing for Emilio is keeping people from acting irrationally with violence. That's just like his whole thing. And going, like, even obviously a lot of people in the Enclave has done terrible things, but he strictly believes in reform, just like with Maxine and like with Malcolm helping out and Sarah helping and stuff like that. So he's not like dismissing these people or anything like that. So as long as he's going to continue to help them help the Enclave kind of thing.
Sure. And I think all signs suggest that the Enclave's moving in that direction, given what's happened, in the course of our game. Does Emilio take on a leadership role in the community?
He wouldn't be against it. I mean, he's used to running a courtroom and running all kinds of things. So if people came to him, he wouldn't be caused against it.
Sure. Okay. Brandon, what do you see for this society in the weeks and months to come?
It seems the likeliest thing to me is that Sarah takes over as the security, as the head of security for the compound. And because, among other things, she's still got a bunch of followers.
Mm-hmm.
Absent a threat from the outside, her agenda is the slow systematic elimination of the infected in the prison.
Right.
Using, making, pole arms and things like that, so that people can get in there and we can kill them all without exposing anybody to,
right,
to people to, minimally to injury. Barricades, things. There's ways to fight, groups of zombies if you have them cooped up and you have better weaponry than they do, without. And so just clearing the places one little room at a time, but ever wary to the threat from the outside, and I include people.
Sure.
And she's always there, and until our medical supplies improve. If we find people who can trade with medical supplies, that would be great.
Right.
And so maybe an expedition at some point to see if there's another group of survivors to trade with, or something like that.
How does Sarah handle it as dribs and drabs of survivors make their way to the prison in the weeks to come?
It's like, okay, what do you bring? That's her point of view.
Right.
She's going to argue strongly. It's like, okay, we don't need mouths to feed. We don't have enough. We barely have enough. But if you actually if you can contribute something, if you can garden, if you can, if you know anything about, medicine or taking care of people, okay, then we've got, because they're making room slowly.
Sure.
But she's still going to very much argue, what do you bring? We're not a charity store. We can't afford to be, because the people here, her point of view has always been that the people who are already here and safe are the most important people in the world, and that anybody else has to prove that they, belong in this group.
Okay. And I imagine, if it's okay with you guys, I imagine maybe like Emilio and maybe Tyler kind of soften your approach a little bit, or at least convince you to
that's
have a broader view of who's useful.
Her approach is already softened when she found God.
Mhm.
You know, but it's like, but she's still.
But
you
that's
know,
like you know, when new people come to the prison, it sounds very, you know, like you we're advocating on behalf of, well, they bring, you know, like we take them, and you're saying, but they're the drain. You know what I mean? Like that's
we
the
come to
conversation
we
that we
come
have.
to. I think we come to some reasonable thing where there's an evaluation
Well,
process for new people.
I was going to say for my epilogue, I think it's that you know, Tyler you know, treats people, and he's still hobbling around a bit, but you know, and he sees Sarah take on the security thing and take on the followers and take on this like driven cleansing of the prison, right? And I think he's a little bit like further distance from her through that faith, but kind of like trusts her, but because he can also see like this is her cross to bear as well as this responsibility, because I know that is what traumatized her, right? Was being responsible for all these people, and here she is again pushing herself to be responsible for more people, and I understand where that kind of suspicion is coming from more, you know. But I think that like one of the last bits of the epilogue is as his leg heals, and he looks at you know, he's talking to Malcolm and DeMarcus, or maybe just DeMarcus, and we're looking over at Malcolm, and it's you know, Brint's compound's not too far from here. Do you think Malcolm would come? And you know, a map with like somewhere off, like miles, you know, car journey away, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you, do we find out whether there is some sort of, you mentioned earlier, like, you know, being a federal agent doesn't mean anything anymore because there is no federal. Is there some sort of society, some sort of government out there, and do you reconnect with it, or do we just don't know?
I think we don't know, but I think that, like, you know, in the next season, the mission to one of Brint's, like, you know, those billionaire kind of like apocalypse bunker things that they have in New Zealand and stuff. Like, it's something like that, right? Which at the very least will be supplies, but who knows what else, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, we hinted that he had been you had gotten him in, I think it was Montana, I think we said. So yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good drive, but yeah, it's within range of your community here in Colorado. All right. And I think let's end our story there then. Let's do some roses and thorns and get some feedback. So so I don't skip you again. Let's start with you, Chase. Do you have any roses or thorns? You can do either or do both of them at the same time. And a rose is, you know, it's basically the same as the stars and wishes, but it's just looking, you know, over the whole trajectory of our story. Roses, of course, are just nice things that you liked about the game, about the other players' actions, about whatever. And thorns are things about the game system, about our particular game, about how things went that you know maybe weren't perfect for you.
Yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed the emotion that the characters brought to the table. The intertwining storylines, reveals, those are always super exciting, super fun. Seeing how like they react to everything, how they butt heads, how they fight for each other, even though they're butting heads. That's always a great experience. I guess the just like a thorn that I have is like spotlight time is can be a little differentiated. But other than that, that's like the only thing that comes around. I like this system a lot. It does offer a very different play style than most dice games.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't require math. But yeah, so it's definitely it's been great. I am really thank you for having me.
Sure. All right. Thank you for that. Brandon?
So so yeah, roses. I loved all the character interactions, even the hostile ones. um, I thought that the combination of internal and external threats was was a good one, and I really enjoyed having the chance to have a some character arc where Sarah, I mean, so obviously Sarah, started out, given the amoral thing as, as a complete hard ass, but that bits and pieces of that flaked away during the course of the first season, which was very which I really enjoyed doing, and that was brought into being by everybody else's efforts, and that was wonderful. I too many incidents to recall. As far as Thorns go, um, um, I wanted a little more zombie action. You know, we never got to we didn't get to do that many of the zombie moves. Um, and and I guess I should be glad that nobody got bit, right?
Mhm.
But it wasn't expected.
Yeah, a lot of you guys said more zombies, and I did my best, but we kept getting back into human versus human action more.
Don't get me wrong, that was great.
Yeah,
It's just and I realize that this game probably works best when you have a balance of those, and that balance is hard to achieve.
yeah.
Um, but that's all the thorn I got. Otherwise, I had a really good time.
Yeah, zombies are hard. They're not good as a primary antagonist because they don't really have any drive or motivation other than just plod forward and eat you, so yeah, having them in it and have it be interesting without just repeating the same thing over and over is a
Yeah. I
difficult
can
thing.
see that. You don't want to just have the zombies attack again.
Right. Okay, thank you for that, Will.
Roses. I really liked that Emilio solved every fight by calming them down, like constantly. Like Daniel's covered in blood with a knife buried in his guts, about to knock this guy off a thing, and you're like, guys, calm down.
Don't
And
we all
it's
just get along?
yeah, and it works. And the reveal of you being a judge was perfect.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was terrific.
Yeah, and I really backed up like that. I like that play of I know that you're a snitch kind of thing. Um, that was really good, and I probably didn't know that you were the judge who signed off on it, right? Because your name would have been redacted from the
Yeah.
files and stuff. Yeah, so that was like a perfect one. We all had such good stuff. I really enjoyed the bite deck and the fact that we all survived. I did quite enjoy that.
Yeah, that's true. We did all
Yeah,
survive. Congrats, everyone.
yeah, we made it. And I thank Brandon. Thank you for the suggestion of being a couple. It did clash a bit at the start with the zombie world, like player setup kind of stuff, but it was interesting, and I'm glad that we did it. I really enjoyed all of that. And Jason, I really liked the cult of Brent and how that all worked in, and like, and I know it was the more zombies thing, and I think it's because we're 4 sessions, right? And we've had people go and come back, and like for the irony for me is that I think having a tyrant as one of the pass cards means that you will always have a focus on human, right? Because it establishes that
Yeah.
there is a tyrannical regime, which has usually got some sort of tension going on, right? But I thought it was all really good. The pass cards again, they're really fun, and I don't know. Sometimes it limited me though because I was thinking like I'm a fearful FBI agent who's a healer, right? So like I have to make all of that work, which means that I have to act like an FBI agent, but also be kind of timid as well, and sort of, So like it was fun and it's interesting. It's just when thinking about like how things could have been if I could just,
Challenges your character
yeah,
mastery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think the trauma cards are trying to say like what has happened to you since Z-Day. So you weren't always a timid FBI agent, but since
Yeah.
Z-Day, you've become fearful. You know,
Oh
whatever.
yeah, yeah. Well, no, I mean, I think certainly he's in way over his head. You know.
Well, you guys have been
I think you
fun.
did really well with it.
No, no. As I said, early on, I thought, Will, I thought you had a brilliant line with, the Sarah I knew would never have done that.
Mhm.
Because that was, it was exactly right. It's like, this is, the trauma has damaged her.
Right.
Um,
Anything else, Will?
No, that's everything. I'm good for you to put it up
Great.
on YouTube.
Let me give a little feedback and then we'll call it a day. I think the community, the enclave that we created is very evocative, very rich. As usually happens when I do like a game with session 0, I'm overwhelmed when we're done because there's so much. But having the week in between, looking at it, it all came together really nicely. It has a structure. It makes sense, and it was easy to play with it. I think we could have easily continued to play with this community for a long time. There's enough seeds and enough cool stuff out there that we could have kept going for a long time with what we had. That kind of leads to my thorn for myself, which is that it's something like I said, playing a PBTA game with a session 0. I haven't done it a lot, but every time I try to get a little bit better. And in terms of pacing, not being able to play it all the first session, I felt bad about that. But it did help because it does let me like organize my thoughts between sessions. So there's a plus and minus. Something, as I go along, I imagine I'll get better and better at just being able to like pick up on the fly in that first session and actually have some play. And then also in terms of pacing, it kind of worked out okay. Don't feel too bad about it, but like the fact that we had session 1 was our session 0, and then sessions 2 and 3 we had the story which was Jasper Bryn, and then originally I was like, oh well, I'll do the Jasper Bryn thing all the way to the end. But then the way the cards went, you guys were succeeding really well in session 3. So I was like, well, I guess we'll just complete the Jasper Bryn story. But then we have one session left. And I'm like, what can we do with one session? But we created something interesting today. I thought it was a good story contained within one 3-hour session today. I was pretty happy with the way it all went today. A lot of you guys were asking for more sort of character moments and more character arc. Did you feel like you got that today? You felt like you had the opportunity? Yeah. I was really happy that Emilio, you got the chance, like Will said, to go in and try to break up all the fights. Some succeeded, some not so much, but that I was glad to give you that opportunity to do that. What else? The moment in last session where Brandon, you let us know that Sarah was a priest, and then you had all of the biblical stuff that you were saying. That was really cool. That really was a powerful moment. What you were doing there really amplified the sort of spiritual, supernatural aspect of all of that. Which leads to another. How did you guys feel about having it have a supernatural aspect? That's not common in zombie stories.
That's what I meant with the Bryn coat, by the way, was I enjoyed the sudden twist into the supernatural. Like, mm-hmm. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, yeah, why not? Gonzo, go with it,
Mm-hmm. I liked it, especially since it's a little deniable,
Mm-hmm.
It might just be okay. Oh no, he was just crazy. Nothing supernatural actually took place. It's just,
mm-hmm.
It was a madman, and he had, inculcated all these people into his, to get to drink the Kool-Aid,
mm-hmm.
and things like that. So that was great.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Will, I've played with you a few times, and I've watched a lot of actual plays where you've been a player, and I always appreciate your record keeping. I know you do that for all your games, I think, and that's really cool. You're good for like reminding us of things, as we go along. So your note taking is very appreciated. But also, you're always a very generous player. You're always you set other people up for scenes. You step back out of the spotlight when you feel that other people, should have a moment, and I appreciate that too. The way you play is real nice. And Matthew's not here, but I have another note for him. I really wanted to see more of Matthew being a tyrant, because I don't know if you guys have played with Matthew much, but Matthew is not a tyrant, I don't think. And
He was a very heroic tyrant. He saved him. He was running off to help Emilio and like everybody, wasn't he? He was,
yeah, I think I played him much harsher than he was playing him himself.
Yeah, but
so,
I liked your playing of him as well. Like, I'm gonna slip.
But I would have loved to see more of Matthew being like a bad guy, because I haven't seen that in him before. If he comes back and watches that, I just want to put that out there for Matthew. But I think that's it. Any last thoughts or concerns or anything?
Do you guys want to see my trauma card?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Will has another one too.
It is.
Oh, mine's not interesting.
Strict.
Ooh.
And what is that?
Oh, you could have revealed that so many times if you wanted to, couldn't you? Because you were constantly getting in someone's face for breaking the monk.
Yeah. I was trying to, but I didn't want to derail like certain scenes and stuff.
You're a +1 when you persecute or harm immoral people. I love it.
Yeah, that plays well into Sarah, because Sarah has amoral as her trauma.
Yeah, right? That's why I laughed when amoral was revealed, because I was like, no wonder we butted.
Yeah, no, I'm just, I'm just glad. I was deliberately steering away from the path where Sarah shoots Emilio.
Would I have blamed her? Not really.
Because if with a different writer as this series, that's what that happens, in probably in season 2.
Instead of aiming at Malcolm, she hits Emilio.
Yeah, it's just like
Brandon, go ahead.
I was just going to say my second trauma was compulsive, which I don't think really it would have been that fun to have in this last scene. So
no. I was going to say that reminded me, Brandon, what you were saying is that you did a really nice job of like being a very gray character. You started out, you clearly had done some bad things, were clearly not such a great person, but then you were a priest, and you showed sort of a complex moral character, and the moments, you weren't consistent. You were like a real person. Like, people do bad things, they do good things. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. And your character was really a rich, interesting character for sure. And you kind of took the bad guy role, which is nice in a game like this. If one of the players is kind of the bad guy, but you didn't go all the way to the black hat. You're a gray hat kind of.
I like the gray character is the one who sees everything in a very black and white view. I think that's a good.
Yeah,
it's a fun dynamic.
Well, Sarah was very much an us and them kind of thing, and she had decided who us was.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's just a matter of okay. Are we endangered? If so, then you do whatever you need to do in order to destroy that danger.
Right.
I loved it. I had a really good time, Jason. Thanks for running it, and thanks for reserving a spot for me as well.
Sure thing.
Really appreciate it.
Will said it's okay to put it on YouTube. How about you guys? Are you okay with YouTube?
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. We'll call it a day. I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. See you guys.
Be safe.
Bye. Take care.